Life, its very existence, which makes our planet different from other planets. Where did life first originate? Yes, in water. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Go Learning. Water, that is something that makes life possible not only for mankind but for every plant and animal. It's important, we all know, but still we continue to waste it. All around the world, we are aware about the depleting sources of water and its scarcity, but still we waste it. Let us go a little deep about the problem and understand its value. Many of us who live in big cities must have seen these strangely beautiful flurries coming out of city lakes. This is not something beautiful but ugly. When the wastewater gets dumped into lakes along with effluents like ammonia and phosphate levels, they go up, and that is what this froth is. Let us understand. The dirty water from our washing machines, which has a lot of detergents in it, have phosphates to soften the hard water and clean better. That's because of this phosphate, a process known as eutrophication starts taking place. In this process, the micronutrients increase in the water body, which leads to the growth of algae and impacts the natural balance in the water body. When the algae die and decompose it, it removes the water's oxygen, which in turn affects the fish adversely. People eat fish, as do other animals and birds. That means we are also eating all that gunk. We all are aware that only 2.5% of water is fresh water on earth, the kind we can turn into safe drinking water. And only 1% of that fresh water is we have easy access to in rivers, aquifers, rain, etc. The rest is trapped in glaciers. India, for one, is a water-stressed region. Right now, we have some 1100 cubic meters of utilizable fresh water per year per capita. But the international standard is some 1700 cubic meters. So we are way lower than that. The amount is supposed to go down 1000 cubic meter in the future. So, what happens to a water body that has so much of filth, or it gets all of industrial waste regularly from all around? Can it choke up and die? Yes, it can, definitely. Ganga, along with Indus, Nile and Ganges, is now classified as one of the 10 most endangered rivers globally. And that's because of pollution, over-withdrawal of water and harsh climate conditions. The Aral Sea, which was once Asia's lake, now has shrunk to 1/10 of its size from 50 years ago. Do you know, a leaky tap at home leaks 3 liters per hour every day. But apart from leaky taps, when you waste food, you are also wasting water. We need to understand, in order to grow food and even make clothes, agriculture, we need water. That includes irrigation, processing, transport, the entire super long process. To grow enough cotton for a pair of jeans, it takes some 6,813 liters of water. Imagine. In India, we waste almost 40% of the food produced even before it gets to our homes. That's a little less than half. In fact, we waste as much food as much is eaten in the whole of United Kingdom. How much water do we use across the world when it comes to food? It's something like 3.8 trillion cubic meters per year. In that, around 70% is used for agriculture. Food for one person is 3000 kilocalories per day by 2050, and the water needed to produce that much amount of food is 1300 meter cube per person per year. That's half an Olympic-sized swimming pool per person. If you haven't seen one, then go. Look for one in any of the pics. These pools are really huge. Do you know it takes 4.16 liters of water to grow one almond? Finding and fixing leaks in our water infrastructure is one of the most important things we can do to conserve water. This is difficult because almost all of the pipes that carry our water through cities are buried in the ground and we don't see what happens to them. On average, cities around the world lose 30% of the water in their system through leaky pipes. In many developing countries, the loss is closer to 50%. This means that half of the water we take from rivers or pump from aquifers and treat for human consumption never actually reaches us. This is called non-revenue water because the utility pays to pump and treat it, but it never gets delivered to us, to the consumer. How can we make a difference? If everybody harvests fresh water, our water problem will reduce. I'm sure everybody has heard about rainwater harvesting. It is compulsory in most states across India to do rainwater harvesting, especially in the new buildings. In rural parts of India, every second woman there has walked some 200 kilometers to fetch water in 2012. That's because they don't get water piped into their houses. Instead, they have to walk for kilometers and kilometers to fetch water. Some of them they even walk up to 10 kilometers and others they have to go 6 times to fetch water. Let us see a guide to calculate the water footprint in your food. These are the typical values for the volume of water required to produce common foodstuffs. Like 1 kg of apple takes around 822 liters of water. Potatoes 1 kg will take around 287 liters. So it's not just water from the taps, but even if we waste food, we are wasting water. Chicken, 1 kg of it will take 4,325 liters of water. Sheep, 1 kg will take 10,412 liters. Similarly, bread, 1 kg will take some 1600 liters. Rice, 1 kg, 2400 liters. In dairy products, imagine 1 kg of chocolate will take some 17,196 liters. Pizza, 1 unit will take 1240 liters. Sundarbans. It is known for its tigers, dolphins, and mangroves and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Few years back, an oil tanker had an accident and spilled some 350,000 liters of heavy fuel into the Sheila River in the Sundarbans. Can you ever imagine what damage it caused to the flora and fauna in that area? Let us see. The impact of an oil spill is horrendous for the ecosystem. What happens is, the oil slicks over birds' feathers and they can't fly. They eventually die from the cold. Any oil on their eggs will also harm the chick inside. Oil also damages the internal organs of birds. Otters need clean fur to stay warm, but when oil coats their fur, they become cold and fall ill. It also impacts snails, clams, and other life that live on beaches. Even small amounts of oil can cause major problems in baby fish. This all information was to give an idea about water pollution and water scarcity, which we will see in the coming decades. Let us collectively take efforts to save water. Thanks for watching. Go Learning.